Good morning. I'm setting up Instagram Live right now. Grand Rising, buenos dias, beautiful souls. Happy Tuesday in a very solemn way. Happy Tuesday. I didn't hit my live button over here. I actually want to take a few moments of my time to be sensitive to what's happening to people and families out in Texas. We want to uplift them in strength, courage, love, protection, and may they continue to gather all the resources they need for their well-being, their safety. So I just wanted to take this moment this morning and be sensitive to what's happening outside of those who are not in that locale or that state, because I am connected with a few people. Out in Texas, so I definitely want to send my love, prayers, and strength, and all my warrior spirit over them. So that's my moment. So we are on I think our 5th Shift Your Thinking Tuesday, you guys. I'm so stoked. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you drop a comment, say hi, say hello. I am also on Instagram Live, at least when I hit the button. I think I am on Instagram Live. So if you haven't had a chance yet to connect with me over there on the gram, I'm LA Superagent at LA Superagent. So chime in. And this morning, I call this topic talking from the side of your neck, or the side neck. And this morning's section talks about subtle changes in the words we use can make a serious difference in the results. Good morning, everybody on the Instagram. Hey, Tamika. Hey, sis. Just wanted to we're doing Shift Your Thinking Tuesday. If you guys haven't had a chance yet, I actually reached out to the publisher of this book and got a great wholesale price. Peace. Thank you. Got a wholesale price for this book because I said, hey, I've been inspired to share and do a whole show on this book every Tuesday morning at 8:10 Pacific time. And if you haven't had a chance yet to jump over at my website at lasuperagent.com, please do so now and subscribe so you can win a chance to this free book. I mean, imagine that. I'm giving the book to you. Like, it's on me. It's on me because this is my truth. I think that shifting your mind is a daily practice to consciously creating your reality, and you should be an active participant in your own life. The reason I can come to that conclusion, because once upon a time, I was not an active participant in my own life. I was leafing the wind and just running its own course, and everything was happenstance, right? I was exhibiting the effect of my own mental cause and not realizing that. So Shift Your Thinking is a way for us to just be in this weekly practice, and whatever you do in your daily practice, I commend you and I support you in that. And I just wanted to bring another added value to that. So as I am transforming my mind, body, and spirit to a tangible experience in this universe, I'm sharing that with you and I'm inviting you to join me. So I just wanted to just say that. So I call this topic talking from the side of your neck. How many of us sometimes we get emotional and we are just running off the mouth, right? And not realizing to the detriment of what those words could be as a result of not being thoughtful first and thinking about what we should say. And if we don't realize, the beauty about that is we can actually say anything. Why? Because it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. So this is a technique. This is the power of speaking and communicating, right? Oftentimes words get lost in translation. Why? Because we are putting our own emotion, we're being objective, we're being subjective rather than objective in terms of how that message is going to be received. So we should be mindful. Let's dive in and see what it says. It says, again, subtle changes in the words we can make a serious difference in the results. Words come out of our mouths at a pretty rapid pace at times, and the faster they come out, the less productive or more damaging they can be. You see? See? Most of us are in the habit of letting our mouths run at the pace of our emotions instead of our thoughts. Yet a little thought goes a long way in taming the delivery of our words. To be candid, we can say almost anything to anyone as long as it is said in such a way that it can be heard. So again, how many times are we being emotional and the words are just flying out of our mouths, running our mouth, talking from the side of our neck? And oftentimes I'll call people on it, at least in my mind, and I'll say, wow, this person's just talking at the side of their neck without consideration of how what they're saying could be misinterpreted. So I just, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one, especially because I think a lot of if you watch TV and you're caught up in the media and the stuff that's happening, you're seeing how people in the media get emotional, and they're then having to deal with the after effect of what they have just said on national TV. So we've got to be mindful. The author continues to say that, for example, when my wife and I were trying to cut expenses for a few seasons, I was scrutinizing the credit card bills and noticed, at least to me, an astonishing number of trips to the salon, the spa, and the beauty shop. The total monthly dollar amount was substantial. He says, now I love my wife and I didn't want her to think I was blaming her, as I have my own expense issues. I wanted to approach her with a caring heart and be effective at the same time. I'm going to stop right there. He says he was talking about, in perspective, he has his own expenses, but he was just taken aback by the expenses his wife had, right? And he says he wanted to approach her with a caring heart and be effective. This goes back to what I say about being intentional, right? Be intentional all the time. Don't be happenstance in your life that you are caught up leaf in the wind and you're on someone else's coattail. You're dragging along the way with what they're doing. So he says he approached her with a caring heart and wanted to be effective. So the intent was that he wanted to make sure he communicated with her effectively. So that's key. Like, I want to be effective in my life. You, anybody, drop a comment in the box and say effective. Caring and effective, just drop right in there. Effective. I want to be effective in my life. Intentional and effective. And I'm watching my time. We're only doing for 13 minutes, you guys. So, and then I'll call out the winner for this week's book. So he says, so when we sat down, I said the following: honey, you know, we're on the expense reduction kick, and I was looking through your monthly expenses, and I finally figured out how it is I have the hottest wife on the planet. I like that. He already warmed up and placated the situation with the wife. He said, honey, and it was very endearing, right? Men, partners, you just totally win me over if you call me honey all the time. And those words of endearment. And I have friends in my love circle, my love council, they use those endearing words where they call me dear and darling. So that already warms things up, and it puts me on a, it just brings me down. So it's not what you're saying, because you can say anything to anybody. It's how you're saying it. So mindful, effective, and intention. Thank you, right? Tamika says, yep. So he says, and then he added that she was the hottest wife on the planet. And that is just awesome, right? Thanks, Stuart. I'm going to really shout out. Thanks, you guys on Facebook, for tuning in. He said, the hottest wife on the planet. How many of us love compliments, right? So we want to bring the balance. I work with a few people where I do coaching, and I'm doing more coaching. And one of the things that when we talk about balancing the experiences of what we're enduring, the negative with the positive, because naturally we'll remember the negative experiences. So what I like to say is, give me 2 positive experiences and share that 1 negative, because I want it does take more positive experience to counter out the negative. And I just share that with you as a tool, a technique. I know most people who are aware of this, do that. So when you get that negative thought, you substitute it with 2. Do the times 2. The more you can do, the better, because naturally the mind, the subconscious, is taking in the negative and the bad stuff. Thanks, Hillary. Caring and effective. So you remind him, just start off with endearing love words, and we'll check our expenses. He says, she gave me a sheepish grin and we both laughed, made some adjustments and moved on. Look at that, right? Made some adjustments and move on, because he took the time to do the thought process, not run off the mouth, not pop off the mouth, not talk out the side of his neck. He was intentional. He was caring and effective. That was the intent. That how do I approach the wife about these exorbitant expenses right now? Same thing, women, queens. How do I approach my king with some things that are rubbing me the wrong way? Especially us. We are very affective, right? We are affectionate with an A, and we get emotional, and we could remember that they have feelings too. And those are one of the things that I'm always mindful about. Our men have feelings, and societal and culturally, they are taught to put those down and not be expressive. And remember, as their partner and their like mind and who they're building with, they are wanting that safe space, okay? Because again, it's enough to step out of the world and stick their chest out and be that protector and be that provider. And sometimes they just want to be able to come home and let that guard down. So they should be able to have that safe space with us, right? Agreed? Let's put safe space. Drop it in the comments, safe space. And that goes both ways for the sexes, men and women, right? Your significant other should be able to have that safe space. And oftentimes when we punish them with our words because we're not being caring and effective, we then ruin the ability for us to say anything to them. This goes back to what we're talking about. We can say anything to anyone if we are paying attention to how we do it. So remember that, caring and effective. So he says, and they both moved on. It said it could have been catastrophic, but instead it was fun simply by adding a little forethought, you hear that, and creativity to the mix. Note these subtleties in communication. He gives an example. Make me an offer on that versus make me a fair offer on that. You're a loser versus you're losing in life. Get some milk on the way home versus, honey, could you do me a favor and pick up some milk? Same thing, but it's how you're saying it, right? You're a flake versus you're making it hard for me to do business with you. No matter what the circumstance, there's always a way to say it that will work better than emoting. Stop popping off at the mouth this week. Stop popping off at the mouth. That is my time. We've done our 13-minute build. I'm going to post the winner of this week's Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays. Again, we are doing Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays every morning at 8:10 Pacific time for 13 minutes for you to join me with transforming our minds to a tangible experience. So let me know how today's message helped you this week, and make sure you apply the principle every day of your life, because it's transforming that outer experience, you guys. I love you. Have a powerful, productive week, and be sure to subscribe for your chance to win